Cannabition, Alex Brough. There you go.
Hello? All right. Wow, JJ and Canna Change. That was a really cool thing. I love what they're doing. Can I get my deck up, please? All right. So, thank you for having me today. Hello, Benzinga. My name is Alex Brough, and I'm the president and managing partner of Cannabition Cannabis Museum in Las Vegas, Nevada. If you're in this room, I think that we can agree that the world benefits from cannabis in numerous ways. Oh, here we go. Okay, great. We've all seen the societal impacts of cannabis have been overwhelmingly positive. We've all heard stories about how cannabis has affected people medically, including my own story. And we've all seen the societal and economic impacts that cannabis has had within states where it's legal. Our vision is to lead the movement to normalize cannabis and to achieve mainstream recognition for the industry. As well as imparting essential information and informed decision-making for the canna curious or even the most experienced consumer. So our experience, we'll just go through that. So Cannabition Cannabis Museum in Las Vegas is an immersive entertainment company that leverages the exploding popularity of interactive exhibitions and the novelty of mainstream cannabis. We're creating a dynamic and memorable physical experience for pre-qualified cannabis enthusiasts to celebrate the plant and the culture. We're also an experiential marketing platform that allows brands the opportunity to leave lasting impressions through engaging, educational, and whimsical photo-friendly installations and amusements that consumers want to share across their preferred social media platforms. Cannabition is also a place for discussion. It's a place to learn. It's a place for networking and events. We're also a place for community, a place for culture, and a place for the leading social equity programs in the space to be seen. So one of the biggest problems facing the industry today is that consumers have a hard time reaching consumers. Cannabition is basically the meow wolf with cannabis culture and cannabis history. So one of the biggest problems that the industry is facing today is that brands have a really hard time reaching consumers due to marketing restrictions and an oversaturation of brands trying to reach the same consumers. We call it the 85% rule. Generally speaking, traditional marketing platforms need to be able to guarantee that 85% of their viewership is over the age of 21. And the largest marketing platforms, such as Google, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook, don't allow cannabis companies to promote themselves on their platforms. They're limited mostly to magazines, pay-per-click ads on industry websites, and directories like Weed Maps and Leafly. There also a lack of interstate commerce has built an environment where there are too many brands trying to compete. It's really difficult for brands to stand out in this saturated market and gain national brand recognition and notoriety. So Cannabition solves two main problems. One is for consumers and the other is for brands. For consumers, we allow brands that are curious about cannabis a safe place to learn and interact with our exhibits and our knowledgeable staff to help inform their perception, responsible usage practices, and inform their purchasing decisions. Additionally, we provide influencers and micro-influencers an artistic palace that they can promote themselves through, an artistic palace that they can promote themselves through their favorite social media platforms. 51% of people say they decided to purchase something after having an influencer promote it. For brands, Cannabition allows brands to stimulate sales conversions through our incentive programs and our influencer initiatives. We also give brands an opportunity to form physical relationships with consumers in an organic way that evangelizes customers to the company's products. In fact, 98% of people are influenced to purchase a product after attending an activation, and unlike pay-per-click or directories, Cannabition's patrons are able to interact with brands directly for 3 to 10 minutes at a time in a physical space. This translates to forming an actual physical relationship with the brand. So here's an example. If we can very conservatively welcome 300 patrons per day on their, and each one has 1,000 people on their preferred social network, we're looking at 300,000 impressions per day with 300 pictures. And like I said, we believe that we'll average a lot more than 300 people per day. And we have already been really fortunate to work with some of the largest brands in the space at our first location, which was on Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. We are located in Las Vegas, Nevada, which hosts over 42 million tourists a year. And we'll be opening at Planet 13 in Las Vegas. It's the largest dispensary in the world, and in our opinion, the premier tourist location worldwide. They host over 100,000 people monthly, and Planet 13 accounts for 9% of all sales in the state of Nevada in a single location. We are very fortunate. So we are very fortunate to have a favorable long-term lease with Planet 13. We have 13,500 square feet, and we're planning on scaling with them as they have additional locations in California, Illinois, and Florida. Now let's talk about how this translates to revenue. Cannabition has 2 main revenue streams. One is for sponsorships, and the other is our ticket sales. Our additional revenue streams are merchandise, data, and events. With sponsorships, we are confident that Cannabition will produce $6 million in revenue in the first year. We have 11 temporary installations that brands can sponsor. We have 11 2.5-minute video segments on our giant projection wall that's similar to the Van Gogh exhibit. And we have 12 product boxes for the smaller brands so that they can participate on our platform. For ticket sales, we're expecting that Cannabition will garner a minimum $3 million in ticket sales in the first year, and that's only if we can capture 7% of the overall attendees at Planet 13, which again we think is a conservative number and doesn't account for our own marketing efforts. In order to drive ticket sales and packages, we'll encourage our sponsors to include discounts and promotional items in their ticket price. This gives consumers a higher perceived value. So our ticket price will be $24.20, but the overall value of buying a ticket will be anywhere from $250 to $400 when you include discounts and swag. That, again, forms that higher perceived value. This program also helps us understand direct conversion rates and supports our value proposition to our sponsoring brands. Here's my favorite part. We are confident that sponsorship revenue will more than cover our operating costs and that Cannabition Cannabis Museum will be revenue positive before we even open. We were the first to market in curating cannabis immersive art experiences, and we've developed standard operating procedures and protocols that have been refined over the last 3 years of designing and operating Cannabition at its original location. Our team brings together 30 years of relationships and involvement in the cannabis space, 35 years in financial management, 30 years in media and building impactful immersive experiences, over 40 years in property development and management, 15 years in design and fabrication, and 40 years in nightlife and management. and an innumerable amount of time as serial entrepreneurs. So the opportunity is we're looking for sponsoring brands that want to separate themselves from the pack. We're looking for strategic partnerships that value our mission. And we're looking for added value and strategic investors that want to join us on this journey. In summary, we're an industry-changing experiential marketing platform with a business model that should be revenue positive before we open. Cannabition is located at the Disneyland of cannabis tourism in the largest and most visited dispensary in the world, and again, the premier cannabis tourist location worldwide. And we've gathered an incredible team that are able to execute. We already have half of our round committed, and we've raised $150K this week. If I could leave you with one message, this is the best platform to grow your social media presence and achieve national brand recognition. If you believe in our project and are interested in speaking to us, my email and phone number are on the screen, or you can scan this QR code, which will give you all of our information. And of course, I'm available to speak with you after I leave the stage. I just want to thank so much. I just want to thank Benzinga so much. I really appreciate all of your time today, and we really hope that you enjoy the rest of your conference. Thank you guys so much.